Hello and welcome to NANB's learning module on completing your Continuing Competence program online. The Continuing Competence Program, or CCP, is a requirement for registration, and compliance with your CCP is reflected in the Standards of Practice for Registered Nurses Indicator 1.9. This module takes about 8 minutes, and it will guide you through the steps on how to complete your CCP. You can access your CCP worksheets online by going to the NANB homepage and clicking on My Profile in the top right. You will then be prompted to log in. Enter your username and password and select Login. As noted to the left of the Login section, your username is your registration number. If you forgot your password, click Forgot Your Password under the Login section. When you enter your profile, scroll to the bottom of your profile page to find the CCP program. To start a new practice year and new CCP worksheets, click on Click here to create new worksheets. If you want to update your existing CCP, click on Update, or if you just want to view your existing CCP, click on View. To see how to update your existing worksheet, fast forward to the 5.5-minute mark of this video. We will now be going through the steps of starting a new practice year. At the top of the CCP worksheet, you'll see 6 tabs. To get started, fill in the worksheet details. These are required fields. Then click Save and Continue to Self-Assessment to move on. Throughout the worksheets, you will see a question mark icon and words underlined with red dots. By clicking on the question marks, helpful information will appear to help you complete the required fields. By hovering over words underlined with red dots, their definition will appear. There are also additional resources available on the web page, such as a CCP guide and sample worksheets that can be accessed by clicking on the link provided. Once you have completed the worksheet details, you will be directed to the Self-Assessment tab. The Standards of Practice for Registered Nurses are the framework for RNs, and the Standards of Practice for Primary Healthcare Nurse Practitioners are the framework for NPs. Now consider how each standard indicator applies to your practice and rate how you are meeting the expectations of each standard consistently. 1 being not at all, 2 sometimes, 3 most of the time, 4 always, and NA not applicable. You will need to rate yourself for each indicator or you will not be able to move on to the next standard or to the learning plan. If you are selecting not applicable, please contact NANB as this could indicate that your practice is not nursing. Once you have self-assessed against each indicator, in the column I will focus on this indicator this year, check the box of those indicators that you will work on in the coming year. You can focus on as many indicators as you feel are required to develop or enhance your practice. However, you must focus on at least 1 indicator in the coming year. At the bottom of each page, you can either save and exit or save and continue to the next standard. Once you have completed your self-assessment against all 4 standards, click Save and Continue to Learning Plan. You also have the option to save and exit at this point as well. If you have not self-assessed against all indicators, you will not be able to move on to the learning plan. Next, you will begin your learning plan. There is important information in the blue box. Please read this before you move on. The learning plan is meant to be flexible, and you may need to modify it over the course of the year. In the lower section, you will see all the indicators that you identified to focus on in the coming year. You must develop a learning plan for at least 1 of these indicators. Check an indicator for which you will develop a learning plan. Only check 1 indicator at a time as each needs to be addressed individually. The next step in developing your learning plan is to develop a learning objective linked to the indicator that you selected. In the example on the screen, indicator 1.7 is checked, so you are developing a learning objective for that indicator. Under Learning Objectives, click on the question mark for a list of action verbs that can help you to develop your learning objective. Next, you'll identify learning activities that you plan to accomplish to meet your objective. The CCP Learning Plan page has a list of various learning activities which could help you to develop your learning plan. Then you'll need to identify a target date, and once you have completed the learning activity, you can log into your My Profile and enter a completion date. If you want to add additional learning activities to meet your objective, click Add Another Activity. You can add as many activities as you want. If you wish to add another learning plan, click Save and Add Another Learning Plan. This will allow you to create a learning plan for another indicator. You will need to repeat the steps from the previous slides. If you're only creating one learning plan, you still click Save and Add Another Learning Plan. You are now finished and can return to your My Profile and view your worksheets. You are now ready to proceed with the implementation of your learning activities throughout the coming practice year. When you have completed your learning activities and you are ready to document their impact on your practice, log in to My Profile and scroll down to the CCP section. Locate your CCP worksheet for the current year. Then click on Update to open your worksheets. And finally, click on the Evaluation tab at the top. Take time to consider your learning objective and the impact of completion of your learning activities on your practice. Document the impact of your learning in the text box. Once finished, click Save and Continue to Required Courses. Next, you can complete the mandatory learning module. The purpose of the learning module is to ensure that you are aware of legislation, regulations, standards, or guidelines that affect your nursing practice. The learning module content and length will vary from year to year. You can access this module from the My Profile page or through the CCP page by clicking on Learning Module. The fourth and final step is your record of learning activities. This is optional. Here you can keep a record of your activities related to your learning plan or any learning activities that you completed this year. Points to remember. In My Profile, you can update or view your current worksheets anytime up to November 30th. Once the renewal period has closed on November 30th, your worksheets will no longer be available to edit and will be used for the purpose of the NANB CCP audit. After November 30th, your worksheets will remain available to view only. Your CCP is intended to be an ongoing process throughout the year. You will need to revisit and adjust your learning plan as learning activities are completed or as changes occur in your practice setting or nursing responsibilities. Changes in your practice setting or responsibilities may require a change in the indicators you want to focus on, your learning objectives, and/or learning activities. Online CCP allows you to create, edit, save, and store your CCP worksheets in a secure and confidential area. If you have additional questions, contact us at 1-800-442-4417 or nanb@nanb.nb.ca.